Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Now at 6:30, we are at our third stop for WKMG Hits the Road, bringing you to the rolling hills of Lake County in the 34756 zip code. Thanks for joining us, and good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. We are so happy to be here live, taking you live here to Montverde. I'm Justin Wormuth.
And I'm Ginger Gadsden. What a beautiful time it has just been here in Montverde. And if you are new to WKMG Hits the Road, then we are going to fill you in on all the secrets here. We're taking our newscast live to your neighborhood. Tonight, we're in the 34756 neighborhood, meeting the people who live here, talking about what is important to all of you. And we're doing that by being here with you in Montverde. We're live here at beautiful Kirk Park. We've been here all day long, showcasing everything this beautiful community has to offer.
When I grew up out here, everything was citrus. There was more tractors and farm equipment up and down the road than there was actual cars.
This lake used to be 50,000 acres. All of that was underwater.
The school was founded really more as a farm school.
All this and more as we continue covering our third on-the-road stop here in Montverde. We're so happy to be out here today. It's a place filled with small-town charm and just beautiful scenery.
It oozes that small-town charm, doesn't it? And some of the people who've called Montverde home have been doing so for decades, and that is the case for this couple I talked to who want to show us all Montverde has to offer. Near the Montverde Water Tower,
we bought this property a long time ago.
Along Lake Drive.
We bought it because we wanted to be out away from a lot of population.
Is where two longtime locals have put down their roots. So you pull on Lake Drive here, it's just you?
It's just us. We're the only ones on the street.
Janet and Dan Davis met here.
There used to be a long pier that went out into Lake Florence, and that's where I met Janet.
Fell in love here. Was it instant spark when you guys met?
I had to fight her off.
And after 56 years of marriage, are now growing old in the small Lake County town. So how do you guys feel about the future?
I figure we got maybe 10 years.
What about the future? When Janet moved to Montverde with her family in 1951.
Yeah, that's me.
Right there.
We had a one-room schoolhouse for the 1st through the 4th grade. And that is what is now Town Hall.
The population was around 300. Now, more than 70 years later, it's home to more than 1,700 people. A pretty modest rate in a popular pocket of Central Florida.
Our elders, our town councils and stuff, have tried their best to keep Montverde small, almost to a fault. They want to have control over these developers that come in. They want to have a little bit of say-so in what they build.
But while Montverde has been able to hold on to that small-town charm, other parts of Lake County are exploding with growth and changing by the day. Did you ever think that Lake County would look like it does currently?
No, never.
Absolutely not.
How does it make you feel when you see...
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that's gone now.
The citrus tower had just been completed, so we had to go up in it, and to look out over Claremont area was a absolutely gorgeous thing to see. Just a beautiful rolling hills of nothing but orange groves. Now it's rooftops.
While nearby cities like Claremont and Mineola continue to expand closer to Montverde, the Davises are optimistic future generations will enjoy the same quality of life they've been able to experience.
It's almost built out, so I think it'll remain a beautiful place to live and a beautiful place to raise children. So I think it's all positive.
And as we've been telling you, listen, the Davises are here today. I don't know if they're still here.
She's right over your other shoulder.
There she is.
Still here.
Again, I asked once again if I could just stay with them.
Oh, I see why.
I want to stay there.
Yeah.
They're so sweet, and they understand the difference in when they moved here to today. Yeah. Obviously, property values are sky high.
Oh my gosh.
They even admit they wouldn't be able to live here if with the with how expensive things have become.
No, I've met a few people who moved here. One woman, I think her name was Pam, she moved here 52 years ago and is still here. She's not going anywhere, anybody.
And
I
that
don't blame
seems
her.
to be the case for everyone that I've talked to today. They said, we moved here for a reason, and we have no plans on
leaving.
because so many pockets of Central Florida that maybe were once like Montverde just aren't anymore.
No. If you were a house and I were a home, we'd be. This is as close as we would be. But in Montverde, you can't be that close. So thank goodness. All right, it has been just a. We got so lucky.
We did. We threaded the needle a little bit.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Fingers were crossed, toes were crossed, everything. Turning to our forecast now, we were on severe thunderstorm watch earlier for a big portion of the day, but we got so lucky. Here's video from one of our Pennant users showing that rain, lightning, and thunder. This is in the Palm Coast area earlier today, but thank goodness none of that happened here in Montverde. It's like there was a little dome over us, and it kept us nice and dry and just perfect. Meteorologist Julie Broughton is in for Chief Meteorologist Tom Searles tonight. Julie, I usually would think Tom, but I'm thinking you tonight.
You know, and Tom always likes to point out that we don't actually get to make these decisions. We just relay the information.
I'm just in sales.
Yes, that's what he says. Thank you, Justin. You're good with the quote. So yeah, Tom's just in sales. Tom's off today. But look how nice the radar looks right now. That video that we saw earlier from Flagler County, we saw some really powerful thunderstorms move through overnight and very early. This afternoon, our second round of storms really didn't have as much energy, but some of those storms, again, as you can see, looping back over the last several hours. We had tornado warnings overnight, severe thunderstorm warnings overnight, and then you'll notice right around noon as that second line moves in, it really moved into an air mass that some drier air was building in, and so it just didn't have a lot of punch. But some storm reports from earlier, we saw that lightning video they just showed you. We had reports of ping pong ball sized hail in Mico, and we also had 46-mile-per-hour wind gusts at Orlando International Airport reported with some of those earlier storms. Things are looking good for the rest of the evening. We'll talk more about that and when our rain chances go back up, guys, coming up next time I see you. But now we'll send it back out to Montverde, where I am so jealous that I'm not out there with you today. It looks like you're having such a fabulous
We miss you.
day.
Yeah.
I am. I'm very sad.
You're definitely missed, Julie. Thank you so much, though. Great job back at the station holding down the fort. Back here in Montverde Live, where one of the most well-known things in town, of course, is Lake Apopka. And Lake Apopka itself is known for a lot of things, including, do you see all those bumps in the water? Those aren't rocks. Those are alligators. Okay, albeit this is old video, but just look at how many gators you see out there just breaching the surface of Lake Apopka. The lake is a focal point for the community, but along with the gator reputation, it's also been labeled at one point the most polluted lake in Florida.
But as News 6 investigator Mike DeForest shows us, Lake Apopka's water quality has improved significantly, and so has its reputation among outdoor enthusiasts.
If we go straight out 100 yards, it'll probably be 3 or 4 feet deep.
They call themselves Friends of Lake Apopka. Wes Parrish and Joe Dunn took me on a boat tour to see firsthand how their citizen advocacy group has helped the lake recover from decades of pollution.
Oh, look at that gator.
Our trip kept getting interrupted by wildlife.
Oh, there he goes.
Look at him, look at him.
Oh,
right
wow.
Crossing in front of us.
Look at that.
I've never seen that.
Besides alligators, birds are flourishing around Lake Apopka.
Great blue heron. Sorry, I'm just in awe.
As well as the largemouth bass that made Montverde and other lakefront communities world famous nearly a century ago.
This was the best bass fishing lake in the eastern United States. People from all over came here to fish in the clear waters of Lake Apopka.
Clear water.
With sandy bottom, Clark Gable, Al Capone. Oh, there's a gator, good sized one.
Dunn says problems began in the 1890s when a canal was dug connecting Lake Apopka to the Harris chain of lakes, causing the water level to drop.
This lake used to be 50,000 acres. All of that was underwater.
During World War II, the nation needed vegetables, so the lake's north shore was converted to farmland. Fertilizer from those farms was dumped into the lake, triggering algae blooms. The algae turned the water green, blocking out sunlight and killing aquatic plants and fish.
So people were starting to panic
In the 1990s, Friends of Lake Apopka successfully encouraged state leaders to buy up the farmland. Since then, a filtration system has been built that naturally removes phosphorus from the water by letting it flow through native vegetation before being pumped back into the lake. State officials say phosphorus concentrations have now declined 69%, while water clarity has increased 93%. Right now, the state is trying to grow more native plants around the lake while getting rid of small fish called gizzard shad that stir up dead vegetation on the bottom of the lake. Someday, that muck will need to be dredged out at a very big expense.
I'm 70 years old, so I'm not going to see that beautiful clear water glass bottom, but my granddaughter might, so we'll see.
And that's a realistic possibility, it sounds like.
It is. I think it is.
As Lake Apopka continues to rebound, more and more people are being attracted to the Montverde area to boat, fish, and admire the wildlife. Those guys from Friends of Lake Apopka say that anytime they take other people out on the lake, even longtime Central Floridians, they are amazed at what they're seeing because that lake has had such a bad reputation for so long. They say most people remember it from back in, say, the 60s and 70s and are shocked to see just how much improvement has been made. Now, no celebrating yet. There is, they say there is still a lot of work to be done, and they don't want folks to give up on this. In fact, that group, Friends of Lake Apopka, they describe themselves as the cheerleaders for the lake. And they give all the credit to the state agencies and the elected leaders who help make that progress, specifically St. Johns River Water Management District, Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, and of course then our local legislative delegation. They say, if you want to help this lake, then support those organizations because that's how the work is getting done.
It's such a good sign when you see these the fish teeming in the water again, even seeing the alligators in the water again. It's just such a good sign of life in the water.
They were telling me they had a bass tournament a couple of years ago.
Which was a big thing way back. This was a popular bass lake until pollution.
And apparently now even they say when there's bass tournaments up in the Harris chain of lakes, some of the fishermen decide that it's in their best interest to take that long, I think it's about a 7-mile canal into Lake Apopka and hit the big bass there before going back. So it's worth going out of their way because things have improved
What
there.
a turnaround.
Love a good comeback story.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, you know, Lake Apopka, of course, isn't the only thing Montverde is known for. The small town has so much more to offer.
The News 6 morning anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer shows us the sweet spots, and as you'll see, one of those spots is really sweet and it's really worth checking out.
This is new territory for me, so let's pack up the car and go check out Montverde. It's a small town in Lake County of about 4,000 people. It sits between Lake Apopka and Lake Florence. I found several parks and overlooked docks you can visit to check out the breathtaking views. You can see a lot of beautiful homes as well as the water tower back there. Kirk Park is the central hub of Montverde. It's along Division Street by the town hall with a large space, ball fields, and a stage. There are quite a few events held here year-round. So right now we're driving through Montverde Academy. It's a private school known for pumping out some very successful student athletes. Matt and Ginger spent some time at the school's basketball court and then spoke with Orlando Magic player and Montverde Academy alum Caleb Houston. You could see the full interview on Florida's Fourth Estate podcast. Back on the road, I spotted a farm along County Road 455. So I just pulled up here to Green Mountain Honey and Fruit, and I think I see a group of people over there picking some peaches. Let's go check it out.
Anybody need help filling buckets? Here's some nice ones.
Andy Ferguson is a third-generation owner of this 25-acre farm. He's the baby in this picture with his grandparents.
When I grew up out here, everything was citrus. There was more tractors and farm equipment up and down the road than there was actual cars.
Andy says they used to grow citrus here.
That didn't pan out because of the freezes back in the 80s when I was a kid. So I'm getting to do the next best thing now. So
Peaches.
The peaches, and I'm also a beekeeper.
He's a retired Disney mechanic and now farms full-time. Today, he's sharing his passion with a group from Special Hearts Farm, a nonprofit serving those with disabilities.
I am getting to do what I've always wanted to do.
You can visit the store to buy your own honey and fruit or pick the peaches yourself and fill a bucket. And honey and peaches you can eat right off the farm, right?
All right, off the farm.
All right, let's try them.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, these are sweet.
After tasting nature's candy, it's back on the road to explore Montverde. Ferndale Preserve on the northwest end of town offers nearly 200 acres of trails and parks. Mark found that many visitors like to hike and bike through the area.
And there's a lot of history in this little town along Porter Avenue. You can come check out the historic Harper House, Montverde's oldest building, built in the 1870s by a citrus grower.
Hungry? Willie's Barbecue is a Montverde staple. Lisa and Candace got a taste in our Florida Foodie podcast.
And if you want to do some shopping, we just pulled up to Fireflies along Lakeside Drive. It's not your average secondhand marketplace. It sells high-end items for a great cause.
Julie spoke with the owner about how she gets results for the community and shares what you can find in store and on the racks.
Tell me what you guys think about Montverde. Have you been here? Are you going to check it out now? If you want to learn some more information about our guide around town, you can head to clickorlando.com/insider. Driving along Montverde, I'm Crystal Moyer, getting results, News 6.
Okay, I'm just going to say we've had the peaches, and now I've had Willie's Barbecue. I'm good for life.
You're
I'm
checking
set.
a lot of boxes.
Set, yeah. Well, coming up, a boarding school in this small town has a big reputation.
So it's obviously the growth that's going on around campus and the surrounding areas, but I think the athletic program has also brought attention to us.
From sports to the yards, this academy has so much to offer. We're going to take a look at its growth right after this.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Perhaps, I love that. I hope you enjoyed the Dalmatian. Perhaps the most well-known thing about Montverde Academy. The private school was founded back in 1912 13 years before the town was even incorporated. So fast forward to today, the school now spreads across 125 acres and includes a day school for elementary students, along with middle and high schools.
It is a beautiful campus,
Yeah, it is.
and they have a lot going on. News 6 anchor Lisa Bell recently visited the historic school to learn more about its past and its future.
We don't have a skating club, so look at that.
Montverde Academy's Associate Head of School, Dr. David Rath, is flipping through an old yearbook, looking back at its humble beginnings as a boarding school for troubled kids, both boys and girls.
The school was founded really more as a farm school, so kids did chores, and the school had livestock, and kids really worked the farm and got an education doing that.
Dr. Rath says in the 1920s, the school dropped the word industrial from its name, and its academic reputation took off.
Even by the 30s and 40s, if you were graduating with a Montverde Academy diploma or a Montverde school diploma at that point, you got automatic entry to any school in the South, Vanderbilt, University of Florida, all the good ones.
What I found so interesting is when you look through some of these old yearbooks, even this one from 1927, the number of women who were in the faculty and who were students here, was that unusual for the time?
I would say absolutely. Most independent schools at the time probably would have been predominantly male.
Fast forward to today, the school is celebrating its 112th year and is spread across 125 acres. There's now a day school for elementary students along with middle and high schools, as well as 4 dormitories for some of the older students who come from around the world. Much like its surrounding community, Montverde Academy was pretty small until now.
It was never very big really until even 1999 or 2000. So from 1999, where we had 105 students, going into next fall, we're going to have 1,400.
What do you attribute that to?
So it's obviously the growth that's going on around campus and the surrounding areas, but I think the athletic program has also brought attention to us.
In fact, Montverde Academy now has the top boys basketball team in the country. The girls have won 3 straight national championships. 14 current NBA players walk this campus, but according to Dr. Rath, there's a whole lot more than that to celebrate.
We're the most highly decorated arts school in the state of Florida. Arts is not in our name, but we have a music conservatory, a theater conservatory, a dance conservatory. We have a strong robotics program, an incredible Model UN.
So how much does all this cost? $57,000 a year for the boarding school.
What about for the day school?
The day school tuition is $23,000 a year. That is from 6th grade through 12th grade. Okay. It's a little bit lower from pre-K through grade 5.
I mean, it's a lot of money, but for what you're getting, the students, they turn out, it's incredible.
As they say, you get what you pay for in life.
And
I think that's certainly the case at Montverde Academy.
For sure.
Wow.
Now, the school is a staple here in this beautiful community, and one of the many reasons people come to live in this neighborhood.
Yeah, and another reason is the sense of community, which is palpable. Some of our viewers shared that with us earlier today.
Very quiet, very peaceful. Everybody's friendly. Mostly everybody's friendly.
We just love our community, being a small knit community. Lots of trees here. It's just a home feel.
Oh,
everybody knows everybody.
Everybody does. So I met that woman. She lives here down the street, but her mom came from Apopka.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, why'd you come? She's like, because you guys were going to be here. It's like, sold.
That's why we're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Chief Meteorologist Tom Searles is off today, but meteorologist Julie Broughton is in. Yes. Julie, what a fantastic day it ended up being. We're so sorry you're not here, but we know you had to hold down the fort there in the weather department.
Yeah, and we're looking really good right now. We did have some rough thunderstorms earlier today and overnight, and we also had a severe thunderstorm watch in place till about 4 o'clock this afternoon, but everything looking good now. In Orlando, we made it up to a high of 87 degrees today, which is right in the normal range. Our low was 74, and we picked up a little more than 1/10 of an inch of rain. Here's a look at the radar right now, looking a whole lot different than it did even just a few hours ago. Scanning out, not finding any showers to track, so that's what we like to see after a really rough morning with some severe weather. We had tornado warnings overnight, as well as some severe thunderstorm warnings. Now here's how it looks for you as we look back on the satellite and radar imagery over the last several hours. We saw our last line of storms begin to move into our northwest counties right right around 1 o'clock today. Notice as they continue pushing to the east how they really lost a lot of their energy. We did see some periods of heavy rain and some lightning, but fortunately over the last several hours we haven't seen anything meeting severe criteria. All of this that we saw overnight and earlier today is out ahead of a front. That front is pushing to the south. Out ahead of that, winds from the southwest are bringing in warm, moist, unstable air, so that fueled some of those showers and thunderstorms. But as I show you a different perspective, this is the water vapor imagery. Now I really like this because this gives us a good idea of what's happening in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere when it comes to moisture levels. So here's what you're looking at, where the orange is, that shows us where it's very dry aloft, and so that drier air moving into our northern counties helped kind of suppress some of those thunderstorms this afternoon. We also saw a lot of cloud cover earlier today, so that limited our instability, so that made for a decent afternoon for most of us, and certainly a better afternoon than we had hoped for out in Montverde. Here's a look at the model day, the clouds and rain forecast for you as we check out what's happening at the 11 o'clock hour. Now again, that front I just showed you, that's still going to be dropping to the south through the evening and overnight hours. So later tonight and even to the overnight hours, I think we'll still keep a few isolated showers in the forecast. I'm keeping the rain chances at 20% through the overnight hours. So around 3-4 o'clock, don't be surprised if you see a few isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. That all should clear out by 8 o'clock. So by the time you're driving the kids to school, it should be a better drive tomorrow than it was today. And then through the afternoon hours tomorrow, we keep it mostly dry. So for tonight, we fall to a low of 73 under a partly cloudy sky. Now here's your
forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
For tomorrow. There it is, 85 degrees at noon. We go to a high of 93 degrees by 4 o'clock, back into the mid 80s at 8 o'clock. Mainly dry with rain chances tomorrow around 20%. Here's how it looks for you as we take you through the next 7 days. Friday all the way to 95, 96 on Saturday. Rain chances Saturday and Sunday go up to 40%, and then we leave showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for Monday and Tuesday as well, with our overnight lows in the 70s. Now let's head back out to Ginger and Justin.
Looking good. I love that forecast. Thanks, Julie.
Yeah.
And we are having so much fun out here in Montverde, but we do have some important updates on Day of News. What's happening all around Central Florida?
Yeah, coming up, the latest on the deadly bus crash in Marion County, and the driver, troopers say, is responsible when News 6 at 6:30 continues. Please stay with us. We're back in 2.
Welcome back to News 6. I'm Emily McLeod, and we are checking on our big stories in studio now. We are following the latest developments on the deadly bus crash where 8 farm workers were killed and dozens of others were injured. Right now, a vigil for those killed is underway. The vigil started at 6 tonight. Those on board were heading to Cannon Farms in Marion County from Gainesville. The youngest of the workers identified so far, just 20 years old. The man Florida Highway Patrol says caused the crash went before a judge today. Brian Howard is facing charges of DUI manslaughter. Today, Mexican consulate officials spent the day calling families of those killed and those injured in the crash.
These are good people. Listening are good people. There are families, very poor families, but very good people making good things. Their job was produce food for the houses of this beloved country. It was your job.
Tomorrow, members of the consulate plan to visit with those who were injured. We will continue to update you with any new developments that we get, but for now, let's go ahead and head back to Montverde. Justin, Ginger, y'all are having a lot of fun out there tonight.
Oh, it's Emily. Next time you have to join us.
Yeah.
It really has been a fantastic.
And this has been a great place to do it. I mean, the folks are so friendly. I mean, everyone we have met today has just been so nice.
I can't tell you how many homes I've been invited to.
And we will take you up on those offers.
Don't you threaten us with a good time, because we will be there. Thank you so much for joining us for, our On the Road show. We are just so thankful that you've been welcoming to us.
And why take our word for it when we do have some sound that we'd like to play, some interviews, so take a look.
I love everything about you. I love Trooper Steve and all the road stuff. I love all of it. All you ladies, all of it.
I appreciate you.
No, we appreciate you for being an honest and open Channel 6.
Well, what else do you watch but Channel 6?
Yeah, Justin.
Didn't pay her. Did not pay her for that sound.
That is fantastic, and it's been like that all day. Montverde.
Love you. We will be back. Yeah, we'll be back.
That's a promise, not a threat. Thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime at our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
And we break news on clickorlando.com. Osceola County, Kissimmee, St. Cloud. We're coming to you next. See you then.
Bye.
Take care.